How's it going, friends? Right here is North Public Road. All up and down here is basically the main street of Lafayette, Colorado. There's an arts collective with a very cool neon sign, by the way, if you can see it lit up. Very, very cool. But today's video is a virtual tour of this delightful little town, Lafayette, Colorado. Let's get it. How's it going, my friends? My name is Jesse Lynch, and I work with the hardest working real estate team in the game. We're called Welcome to Denver, and you can check out our website, welcometodenver.co. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home, a place to land here in beautiful Denver, Colorado, the Front Range of Colorado, today specifically Lafayette, Colorado. And that's whether you're buying a house for the first time or relocating here from a different city, state, country, planet, dimension, universe, whatever. First-time home buyers and relocations, that's what we do, and that's what we do better than anybody else. So if either of those things appeal to you, then do us both a favor. Subscribe to this channel, click that little bell to get notified every time we put up a video. And while I have you here, give this video a thumbs up and say something nice in the comments. Say something helpful in the comments, maybe. And if you are one of these folks who are trying to buy a house or moving here, get a hold of us and we will crush it for you. You can go to our website, welcometodenver.co. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in 30 seconds. I feel like I don't need these. You can probably tell, right? Probably don't need these. We have a contact form that you can fill out in 30 seconds, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@welcometodenver.co. They lead to the same inbox, so completely up to you how you do it. We just ask that you do. And like I said at the top, today's video is a virtual tour of Lafayette, Colorado. Basically, it's 20 minutes. It's just south of Boulder to the northwest of Denver. And it's pretty great. And I really think a lot of y'all are gonna be into it. And right now, I'm in a neighborhood, well, I'm in a park space adjacent to a neighborhood. Really, it's part of the neighborhood. This neighborhood's called Trails at Coal Creek. Beautiful homes, very quaint, kind of idyllic neighborhood, super easy access to the suburban amenities, literally trails in your backyard. I mean, is there anything more Coloradan than trails in your backyard? Not really. But all right, y'all, let's dive in. All right, friends, right now I'm at Silver Creek Park. It's kind of right over this mound. You'll see. It's a beautiful neighborhood park in a very nice neighborhood. Cool architecture here that it's nice to see sort of a different type of architecture from home to home. I think it will age well for that reason. And maybe you can see over here, just a little more of like occasional modern shape of home, etc. And then great sort of playground over there. Tons of kids there. It is a Sunday though. And Lafayette is a very nice sort of, it's almost more a suburb of Boulder than anything else, but I suppose you could say it's a suburb of Denver as well. It would be to the northwest of Denver and sort of the southeast of Boulder. To the north of here, you have the town of Erie. To the east, you have Broomfield. To the south is Louisville. And to the west is Boulder County and Boulder, you know, it gets pretty rural to the west. You're about 35, 40 minutes from Denver International Airport, DIA. You're about 30 minutes from downtown Denver and only 20 minutes to downtown Boulder. The population here is 34,000 and that has grown by 40% in the last decade, which is pretty crazy, but it makes a lot of sense just geographically, how it's situated and sort of the desirable aspects of it, which we will get to. I would say the first of which are going to be the schools. The schools here are very, very good. You have basically access to Boulder Valley School District, which as a whole gets an A. The schools that serve Lafayette get an A- overall. Basically, you have access to Centaurus High School, which gets an A, Nevin Platte Middle School, which gets an A-, Javine Middle School, which gets an A-, and then a bunch of elementary schools ranging from A to A-. So kind of can't go wrong in the school area. They are all very, very good, and which is what a lot of people expect out of that Boulder Valley School District. And here's where it gets good. I mean, I think it already got good, but here's where I think it gets particularly juicy. Median sale price of homes here, $590,000. So access to those Boulder Valley schools for $590,000 median is pretty good. That said, there's a pretty wide range of housing stock here. There's neighborhoods like this, which are beautiful, definitely gonna be more on the expensive end of that number, right? Definitely higher than that price. But there's much more modest, more historic homes in Lafayette because it's been around for a long time. It's just been a small, city, small town. And now it's really developing into a suburb. So there's much more modest homes here. The cheapest house on the market right now is under $400K, and the most expensive is just under $3 million. So there are some areas with really just outstanding views of the Flatirons. Can't really see right now, blocked by houses, but I can see that if these houses weren't here, I would have really great views of the Flatirons, which, if you don't know, are just some of the most beautiful mountains in, I don't know, the US, Colorado. I don't know, they're very cool. And I think you're gonna find with that 40% increase of population in the last decade, that the housing stock here is largely quite new, right? I think that means 40% of the homes will likely be new build, right? So absolutely, you have some very good opportunity for some nice new build homes here, and access to Boulder Valley School District, which is very good. Median home price, $590,000. Our friends, right back here is Lafayette Skate Park, and then like Lafayette Community Center. And just over here is Rothman Park and Josephine Roche Open Space. Tons of just open space and natural areas over here. Beautiful. Also some sort of like four unit townhome type stuff over there, and it's just really nice to have this natural space right here. The sort of old downtown is that way, and a lot of the newer than that is this way. Let's dive into the pros and cons. We can talk through some of the nuances of Lafayette. So first pro, you probably know I'm going to say it, very good schools. You have access to Boulder Valley Public School District, very good schools, A-, pretty much across the board, A- or higher. Second pro is beautiful outdoor spaces like this one, and tons of municipal spaces throughout Lafayette. They're great little neighborhood parks. Obviously the skate park, that's pretty cool. Not a lot of communities have that, so it's nice to see that. And there's also Winnetka Lake Park, and also Coal Creek Trail, and there's just so much like trail space, outdoor space, open space, and just natural areas that it makes it beautiful. It also makes it very livable. Pro number 3, I already talked about it, but it's very affordable. That median list price is not bad at all. All things considered, it's one of the better values on median, and certainly anywhere with schools as good as this one. Top 4 school districts in all of Colorado. Pro number 4 is there's tons of suburban amenities. Specifically, Lafayette has quite a few. I mean, there's basically 2 sort of commercial cores within Lafayette, both of which are pretty amply stocked, and you have just about everything you could ever want within Lafayette. And now, will you go to Boulder for sort of cultural events, and will you go to Denver for sporting events? Of course, like, it doesn't have that stuff. It's a suburb. But as far as suburban amenities that people have come to expect, definitely doing pretty good here. Pro number 5, and I mentioned this earlier, is that the growth has 40% growth in the last decade, which means that a ton of the housing stock here is new. So, which means also a lot of the infrastructure here is new. So there's just kind of like just a cleanliness, a shininess to the area that comes with, everything sort of coming up recently. But there's also the great historic downtown, which is the next pro. And, not only commercial spaces, which they have, very cool. If you want to go get a coffee, go grab a beer, dinner, whatever, there's a lot of good spots in this downtown. There's, an old miners museum and just tons of character in the commercial spaces, but then also some very cool old historic style homes in that sort of, close to the old town, sort of downtown surrounding areas. So the last pro is going to be just that, the neighborhoods all throughout, whether it's the old town neighborhood or, like these just newer build neighborhoods. It's just peaceful, it's quiet. It just seems like a good place to grow up. You can play in the streets, you can ride your bike to the park, ride your bike to school, and you probably aren't going to be too worried about it. So definitely that peacefulness. So now let's move on to the cons. And the big con, I guess, for me, there's only 2 cons I can really think of. One is just a general cons associated with living in the suburbs, right? This is a thing that I like to mention. It's a little quiet, it's a little sleepy. The cultural events, you're gonna have to go, you're gonna have to leave Lafayette for, all stuff we kind of expect. It's not going to be that walkable, although if you are in sort of the old town, sort of downtown core, it's not bad. It's actually fairly walkable. But yeah, just generally a suburban sort of sleepiness that as a kid ages and becomes 16, 17, 18, like, this is boring, right? Yeah, it's all good. But I grew up like that, and in retrospect, it's a great way to grow up. So con number 2, and really the last con, and this is, to me, maybe the biggest con, is that there's what I call echoes of a rural past, right? Which is basically to say, like, this used to be a rural small town. There's a small town living. Things are a little bit less orderly, I guess, in how one presents their home. There were, no or fewer covenants to how a home was built, etc. So you get a little bit of a dinge, you get just like stuff in people's yards, you get houses that look a little bit ramshackle, a little bit thrown together, a little too DIY, if you catch my drift. And that's definitely here. There are moments of that. Now, if you're in one of these new build communities, no, it's not gonna be in there at all. But might you drive by it and might you not like it? Sure. But ultimately, would it be a deal breaker for me? No. It's just a thing to take note. I don't want you showing up here and being like, Jesse lied to me. Why wouldn't he mention this? Of course I'm going to tell you the truth and call him like I see him, and that's how we do. All right, let's hop over to another spot. We're going to talk through some areas that you might want to consider if you like what you see here. right, my friends, right here is South Boulder Road. Right over there is Highway 287. And sort of right around here is a bit of a commercial core for the Lafayette area. And there are more than one commercial cores to the area, but really kind of two. And this is a really great one. There's a Sprouts, there's a Starbucks, there's a Goodwill, there's a Good Times. Back here, we have, you know, a few restaurants, T-Mobile store, and then a whole bunch of other conveniences all around this area. And before I dive into the section that you may know as the R for Fans Of section, I would just like to say, if you are thinking about moving here, get a hold of us and we will crush it for you. Nobody will work harder for you than we will. So go to our website, welcometodenver.co. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in 30 seconds, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@welcometodenver.co. They lead to the same inbox, so completely up to you how you do it. We just ask that you do it and we look forward to it. So what are some spots to consider if you like what you see here in Lafayette? The first two, geographically very, very close and just have a lot of similar qualities. So that's Louisville and Superior. They're basically right by, you know, basically surrounding this area. Very, very similar lifestyles, similar access to great schools, etc. The next one is actually Golden. And Golden, just because if you like the downtown, right? If you're into what you see in the cool, sort of quaint, historic downtown, Golden has a lot of that character. And if that's one of the things that stands out to you about Lafayette, then definitely worth checking out Golden, because it has that on a very, very high level. And now the next one is similar, but in a very geographically different spot. If maybe you are into the idea of living to the south of Denver, then I would check out the next two basically, which are Littleton and Parker. Littleton and Parker both have very cute downtown areas and access to great schools. There's also a degree of affordability there as well. So for all those reasons, that's why I chose those spots. And as always, there are a bunch of other spots that would probably do the trick for most people, but these seem like the closest sort of vibe test, right? So, and if you're curious about other spots, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified so you can see when we put out these videos. And this is what we do, right? This is what we do, and this is what we do better than anybody else. So make sure you can see everything we put out. And while I have you here, if you wouldn't mind, give this video a thumbs up and say something nice in the comments. I'd appreciate that very, very much. These videos take a lot of work, and you know, but we're happy to do it, happy to hang out with you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.